Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Authentically Albertan. Today, I am joined by Casey. Casey, what is it that you do? Why are you here in Authentically Albertan?
Um, well, you invited me here. I'm here because, yeah, for one, but I run a catering company in Grande Prairie, Alberta. I'm a private chef slash caterer slash anything you want culinary done. I
What's
do
the
it.
name of the company?
It's the Black Market Food Co.
Black Market Food Co.
Yeah.
And how long has it been running for?
So 4 years, but I think like actual like how you say like actually like running busy would be like the last 3 years, really
Okay.
busy. So
Yeah.
last year I had my best year, which was unreal. So thanks to
Nice.
the
What made it
community
your
of
best
Grande
year?
Prairie. Just I think it was a good year for Grande Prairie, and I lots of Christmas parties. Like it's catering's one of those things. I did all my business in like probably 3/4 of my business in December.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
lot of it. Yeah.
So, how did you start cooking? What really inspired you? What really made you say, this is what I want to do
I
for the rest of my life?
I would like to tell you it's some crazy cool story, but I just had nothing to do.
Yeah.
And my parents at the time, I was living with them when I was younger, like 18, and I wanted to take a year off, but they advised me it's probably a good idea just to do something.
Mhm.
So I did a year at community college. Didn't really enjoy it. I'm not a classroom guy. I don't like that.
What program was it?
It's just universal studies.
Oh, gotcha.
So like
Yeah.
just trying to find something. Hey, maybe I like this or
Something
like
that
that.
calls
But
you.
I think I was very scatterbrained at the time, and nothing was really calling me. So, my mom told me stories about me as a kid playing with pots and pans and just in the kitchen all the time, not really helping cooking, but just so she said, "Why don't you try culinary?" And I just took it and went from
Ran
there.
with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ran with it. Yeah, and I haven't done anything else since, really.
What was the first job that you finally, like after you finally decided to pursue culinary, what was the first job that you got? Because you told me you don't like the classroom settings. A lot of people who want to dedicate their life to culinary, they go to post-secondary and enroll in these programs.
Yeah.
Did you enroll in these programs?
Yes, but
Gotcha.
but I would recommend that you don't do that.
Just
I would
learn
recommend
hands-on?
hands-on, like
Mhm.
abroad.
Gotcha.
Definitely. Or there's what? So back when I started cooking, abroad was what you do. Like go to Italy, go to France, go to Thailand, go to anywhere where there's like these high-end restaurants or these niche places. They don't have to be high-end. They just have to have somebody there that has something cool that you can learn. But now I think like Calgary and Edmonton, what was it? There's like a bunch of restaurants that are in
That's
the top 100 in the world. So there's definitely places now in Canada, like shout out to Canada and like Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, probably Toronto and stuff. I don't really deal much with the
With
East.
the
I
East,
kind of
yeah.
keep it out west, but definitely there's places in Newfoundland and stuff that I've heard of. Like there's definitely places that cooks now coming up. Instead of going to culinary school, go do a stage, go work somewhere for free, maybe get an apprenticeship, and then afterwards do the culinary. Once you got a baseline,
Right. Once
And
you got a
it-
foundation.
even if you, I don't even know if you need that, but the school.
Gotcha.
But
Yeah.
you can, if it's something you want to do, go try it out. But it might be a waste of money, in my opinion. But
So, where did you travel abroad? Where did you go to learn that?
I went to Thailand
Uh-huh.
for 6 months. I mean, a lot of partying, but a little bit of cooking. Nothing crazy.
Well, you need food for the party.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the reason I am a proponent of the hands-on is because I did a lot of I did a lot of self-teaching.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of like became a chef too early, had to go back, relearn,
Oh,
teach
gotcha.
myself, made a lot of mistakes, was very young, headstrong, right? Kind of wanted to just do everything on my own.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a lot of good teachers along the way that I learned mistakes and had to go back and teach myself, and took a lot of jobs I shouldn't have took probably at the time because I had the dollar signs in my eyes when I should have
Yeah.
went and learned more. So
Gotcha.
yeah, I just recommend don't rush it.
So, look for the experience, what you can gain in experience
Yeah.
more so than what you can gain in the dollar signs.
Yeah, and young in your career, don't. Me, I'm loyal, so I tied myself down to 4 years, 5
Mhm.
years. I worked at every job. I would say as a young cook, you need to get those experience, soak up what you can, and move on to the next place.
Gotcha.
No one's going to judge you in the cooking industry for that.
Right. How did the culture in Thailand differ from the culinary culture here in Canada?
Well,
Is there some stuff that you took with you?
So, I mean, a little bit, but it was mostly just watching. Like, I didn't really work in any restaurants there. It was more of like a,
Gotcha.
you know, everybody goes to Thailand for 6 months. Back in the day at my age, right? Early 2000s, that was kind of a thing you did. So we went to like Cambodia. For me, it was more watching.
Hmm.
A lot of cool, like off the cuff stuff. You know what I mean? Very natural, very from the land. You know what
Right.
I mean? So but it's cool. Very rustic, like, not super fancy, but a lot of techniques, a lot of flavor, a lot of unami.
Things that you gotta prioritize. That's not the maybe things that wouldn't be prioritized here are different priorities over there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Walk me through how that timeline worked. You decide to do culinary, do
Went to the
schooling a little bit.
went to the Banff Springs Hotel.
Okay.
Started
Yeah,
out
yeah.
there. That's where I started my like apprenticeship ish,
How'd you
kind of.
get in? I feel like that's a very contested place.
It was back then. I don't think I don't know what how hotels regard up now. I haven't been in the hotel industry in a long time.
Right.
Um, Usually, as chefs, we don't place like as far as like learning.
Hmm.
Um, Hotels, golf courses, these places are very like you can get in super high end ones. There is outliers, but usually your culinary training, you're stuck on the same station for a long time.
Yeah.
It's very stagnant. Once you learn everything, it's hard to move around because they get somebody in a position they're really good at it, and not to their own fault. It makes sense, right? For
You
older
want the best
people,
person for the job.
yeah, or for older people or people who just want to coast, it's fine. But for people that want to learn and be aggressive, they're not the best places to learn
Gotcha.
certain things, like definitely like leadership and cleanliness, and there's all those things, and speed and stuff like that. But as far as creativity, you're stuck, right? You're
Yeah.
not the chef. You're not the, they have a corporate office. They have all these things. Where at a small restaurant, you might be able to do features and specials. Like when I worked at a small bistro in Calgary, and it was a really good learning curve. The chef there was really amazing, and he let us. I was I wasn't a sous chef at first, but I was a sous chef there eventually. But I always got to come in. I worked the grill, and I got to work with the sous chef at the time and make all the features every day.
Was it the creativity that you were looking forward to?
Yeah, like you get in there, you go in an hour
Okay.
early. The chef at John would bring in all these cool ingredients for us, and he'd just be like, "Go, come up with 6
Do your
features," and you'd
thing.
only have like a 4 hours. So that's where I
Wow.
learned. I learned a lot.
So that was really, pushing it against the time, and
Yeah, and going, and then you have a wood fire grill. You got to get ready and stuff. It was a really cool
that's a good
restaurant
method, yeah.
that I think was maybe a little bit underappreciated in Calgary. It didn't get the
Would you ever implement those types of methods with your staff? Given 4 hours to come up with things?
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have good experience, I mean that's enough time. Yeah, 100%. That's like that Iron Chef thing, right? Where
That's
you
right.
have 45. What is it? I don't know. You have like 3 hours. I don't really.
But they also provide them a lot of ingredients. In different
Yes.
situations,
Yeah.
you are limited.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
So after Banff, where did you go from there?
I went to Thailand
Uh-huh.
for 6 months, and then I came back to Calgary, and then I got a job at a golf course as a first cook type deal, and then moved up there as a sous chef, and then eventually became the chef of that golf course.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting. Have you gone abroad elsewhere since Thailand?
Uh, just with friends and family, like nothing, no culinary trips.
Gotcha.
No.
Yeah.
I should. We want to do that more, like go to Spain
Definitely.
or France
Yeah,
or
yeah.
somewhere like
What's
that.
on your list?
Basque in Spain, Italy.
Uh-huh.
Basque is on the border of France and Spain.
Why that place specifically?
I think the bistro I was talking about, my chef talked very highly about it and brought
Gotcha.
back some exotic ingredients and stuff from there before.
Yeah, to go
So
figure out what they're working over there, what they're doing.
yeah, it's a beautiful
Yeah.
place.
So after traveling, you tell me that you had experiences in Banff and Calgary. How'd you settle in Grande Prairie? What'd you settle on it?
I got a really good offer from a restaurant here
Mhm.
from Calgary, and I didn't really want to. Was done with the big city. I love it
Yeah.
out here. So
Okay.
yeah,
How long ago was that?
11 years.
11 years. And were you
11 years.
familiar with Grande Prairie beforehand?
No, no idea. No, just what people said about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, took
Word
me a
of
good
mouth.
3 years to settle in and be like, okay, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was touch and go there for a couple of years. I
Gotcha.
was getting job offers and thinking about leaving a couple times, but I met some good people here, some really good people that got me into what I'm doing now too as well. So locals, a lot of local people. It's very community. The big community here, like even my business, very community driven. All the people I met at the restaurant that I worked at when I got here, a lot of people, just keep it going for me. So shout out to all those people and to keep my business going. I love you guys, and I can't wait to keep doing it. So
When did you decide to make the jump from working in a brick and mortar kitchen to catering? Like, what was the reasoning behind that?
COVID mainly,
Hmm.
right? Like I was like, I needed to start doing catering, run my own business, do my own thing. It's just your margins are so tight in the brick and mortar kitchen, and you have so much overhead, food cost, waste, servers, kitchen labor, food labor, like convenience foods, all these things that you have, like you're kind of like forced to do to make ends meet, right? If you don't have that revenue coming in. Whereas me, I can have many outlets. Like I can do weddings, I can do private chef gigs in people's homes. I can do uh,
Office events too,
I can do
imagine. Yeah.
I can do everything. Yeah, I can do as long. The only hardest part is logistically, like having a kitchen. I'm lucky to have one. Shout out to Better Than Friends and John again.
Yeah.
But sorry, yeah, they're amazing. Well, I couldn't do without him. So he's great. He's great, and he really helps me like have a kitchen that I can cook in, like because you need a commercial kitchen to cook in. You can't do
Right.
this out of your house, right? It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
not fair to people, and other people spending the money and having restaurants, right? So shout out to everybody in the culinary industry. It's not
It's not easy.
it's not easy. No, it's
No.
hard. It's hard work, and it gets harder every day. Finding employees, food costs,
Early
meat,
mornings too.
everything's going through the roof these days. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But no, and another thing about supporting local, like the homestead farms here in Grande Prairie, they're great. I use them for pretty much as I can. Like I do a dinner once a month with them at Latitude 55. We do like a 6-course, 5-course meal there, depending on what the event is. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
It's
they're a
awesome
local
that you got
distillery
that.
in town. So
You can build on that community and be part of that community and just feel like you belong. I feel like that helps a lot when you're making the food, when you're being creative about it,
yeah,
building up the menus.
100%. And I think it's very important to use local ingredients.
We have a section in the show that we like to call horror stories.
Oh,
And when we talk about horror stories, yeah, the guest goes through their experiences throughout it, but our main goal with it is to see what you took from it and how it helped you grow as a business, as an entrepreneur.
I don't really have any horror stories for my business at the moment, but I worked at a restaurant, and one of the line cooks had like an elastic band around her wrist, and she was making a wrap, and somehow the elastic band got in the wrap, and she wrapped it up and served it to the guest. But I knew the guest, so I went out and I talked to him, and he literally pulled the elastic to the server out of his mouth as he chewed on the wrap. But I knew, fortunately for me, at that point in my career, I knew a lot of people in Grande Prairie, so fortunate enough, I knew the person, so I was able to. Yeah, it was one of those things.
People skills.
People skills,
People
yeah, and
skills.
also like getting the right customer, because if that was the wrong customer, it would have been a big issue. Here's free meals for a year. I'm really sorry, but fortunate enough, we knew the person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely having those people.
That was a
skills
very
come in handy.
embarrassing moment, because the cook doesn't take the heat. As a chef, you take the heat for all that stuff, right?
Well, how did it help you grow?
I mean, there's always learning in those types of situations because they're so unique, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a mess up from the kitchen, but whether it's a Band-Aid or a bug in somebody's food or something, it happens, or a glove, or you'd be surprised, So it's just one of those situations where you're like, oh, how'd this guest handle it? Fortunately for that one, it was seamless and it was easy to work with because I knew the person. But sometimes if the guest gets angry or irate or wants to fight you, or it happens. Yeah.
Squares up.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, I don't think it's ever gotten that far, but they get mad, storm out, swear. Go become the keyboard warrior.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
there's lots of that. Yeah,
So just be able to keep your cool and have that dialogue with the
you always got to
person.
keep your cool. Yeah, that's your
Have that
restaurant, right? Yeah,
dialogue with that
you got to
person.
have, yeah, and you got to be dialed in because you can't lose your cool.
Speaking of your team, what do you look for when you're building it up? What are some categories that you have to fill before you say, okay, I'm ready to cook?
For like, I think
For
you
team
just need people. You
members.
just need people that care.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing.
that's the biggest thing, that they care what they're doing and they want to be there.
They're passionate about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, they're willing
They
to
don't need to
learn.
be like super chefs or even know how to cook. They just need to care. Yeah, I think
Have
speed
you
and experience comes with time, right? So.
have you had people under your wing that didn't know how to cook and
Oh,
then just
100%.
guided
Yeah,
them through
yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah.
What's the starter job in that position?
Um,
Salads?
I think, yeah, salads or prep. Prep is usually dishwashing and prep. Right,
Gotcha.
dishwashing teaches you organizational skills and speed,
Hmm.
right, and putting things together and making cleanliness, really, because the dish pit, in my opinion, has to be the cleanest place, right, because all the food, all the plates are coming from there.
Yeah.
So and then prep, and then you move to prep, and then you move to the line, and then grill, and then
Do
go
you have a
from there.
favorite station?
I think grill. I'm really
Grill?
good at grill. Yeah, yeah, grill and like expo, like the other side, like
Mhm.
finishing.
It's funny because the chef that I talked to a few episodes ago, like her favorite station was also working in the grill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, working with that,
Yeah.
working with the fire.
Yeah, I used to do. I don't like gas grills. I like wood fire.
Okay.
That's what I learned on.
How
It's my
so?
favorite.
Is it just because you're more familiar with it?
I just like the flavor. The flavor's way better. You can put hay and
see.
stuff like alfalfa and in the fire. You can do all kinds of things with that. You
Oh,
can
I
put
didn't know
herbs in
that.
there. You can rest it. So like a lot of wood fire grills will have like a smoker unit on the back with doors, so you can put the steak to the side where the coals are, because you'll have a fire side and then you'll have a coal side where
Right?
your hot coals are,
Hmm.
maintaining temperature, and then you can smoke as the meat's resting. You can kind of semi-smoke the steak a little bit with like cherry or apple wood or whatever you're using.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting that you are putting different things in the fire, different things to
Yeah,
give it that flavor
that's sort of
and
like
make it
a
stick with it.
Norwegian like Viking kind of thing with the hay.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot. Oh, I think all cultures do it, depending on what type of, like, if
Mhm.
it's alfalfa or whatever.
Well,
Normal.
in day to day, people who aren't there don't think about it because they just have either the home gas stove or the home electric
Yeah.
stove, and that's it.
You can do it with those little hibachi grills. Like, you get those little Japanese grills. You can
Mhm.
get the nice coals, and you can do that in your house if you have a strong enough hood vent, or you can do it outside near your barbecue. They're just little hibachi grills, little like portable grills. You can
It's
do
just
the
about avoiding the fire alarm then.
Yeah, you can do the tataki on them and all this stuff. Yeah, exactly. Avoid the fire alarm. Bring them camping. The
When it
induction.
comes to building up the menus, what do you take into consideration?
Just what ingredients I can get. Like I
Yeah.
said, I work with the local farm guys a lot, as much as I can. I mean, sometimes like I'm forced, like being in Grande Prairie, if I'm doing a really big event, I try to still get it from Alberta,
Hmm.
right? I try to keep it in Alberta, and at the very least in Canada.
Local and from the source.
Yeah, yeah. I try to keep it in Canada as much as possible, right? Like, I don't want to be using meat from the U.S. or fish from the U.S. if I can avoid it, right?
Yeah,
So
just
we have all that stuff here.
why
We
not
have a
use
lot
it?
of
Yeah,
farms
you're
here.
right.
Yeah, we don't really need to, like, you do the best you can. Winter's hard for vegetables right here, but the farm does a really good job. It's like, you're gonna be getting carrots, parsnips, and beets, and that's what you should be eating, because that's what you have locally, right?
During the winter.
During the winter, yeah.
Because it's
And
a
then in the
harsh,
summer they have
it's a
nice,
harsh season here.
yeah, they have lettuces and they have microgreens and stuff.
Gotcha.
There's lots of options.
How are you hoping to fit in this fermentation thing that you're learning right now? This fermentation
That'll be
aspect
more
of
for the
it?
fine dining aspect of my house. That's not something I'd bring to like a big buffet or something. That's something I'd
Interesting.
test out on myself, just for health stuff. But like I said, that's not implemented in any of my cooking right now. That's something I'm just practicing at home by
Well, yeah,
myself.
you're teaching yourself, you're learning
Yeah.
about it, right? Like right now it's in the
There
development
was
stage. I'm just wondering down the line how that's gonna fit into different places.
yeah.
It doesn't have to be as big as a buffet, but maybe if you've got like a very private event,
Yeah,
I'm willing
that's
to.
and that's the other thing I said. Like, remember I said before, I don't really do any of the social media stuff. I kind of use social media for those ideas.
Right?
There's a guy on Instagram. I
Wait,
can't.
wait, wait. Is it the guy who's doing like cooking history?
No,
Oh,
he's black. I forget his name. It's the fermentation kitchen, I think.
interesting.
He's amazing. I think he's located in the U.S. I'm not sure though, um, but he's the one inspired me to. I'd like to give him a shout out, but I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. I haven't. It's one of those things. Like I said, I'm just starting,
Hmm.
and I followed him forever, and I feel like a jerk now that I didn't remember. It's just on the spot. I know who he is. I just can't think of it. But I bought his book, so I'm supporting him. I bought his book, and I've been kind of going through it. I haven't done anything yet. I'm getting everything set up for it. Just getting myself psyched up for it. We're trying to buy a house, so once I get my house, my kitchen's going to be
Big part.
oh, it's going to be
Big
unreal. It's going to
part.
be like a commercial kitchen in my house.
That's
Yeah.
gonna be like the deciding factor, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. We're going to make it crazy. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds so cool.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about this guy who has an Instagram account called like Food History or something like that.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
and
know who you're talking about.
he keeps like exploring different plates or
Yep.
different fermentations throughout history.
Yeah.
I think lately he made some sort of bread fermented beverage from
I know
Russia.
exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah,
I know
yeah.
exactly who you're talking about. Fermentation's cool because you can make your own alcohol just with honey and water.
Hmm.
Yeah. And a little bit of salt and some lime.
But I also feel you got to be very scientific about it.
Yeah,
'Cause-
so like the easiest way to do it is just with salt. So you're using, you just up the salt if you're more scared, right? You just know you're going to get a saltier product. So if you like salt, it's fine. If you don't like salt, but salt's what's going to kill like the botulism.
yeah.
Is what you're really. That's what when fermentation. That's what you're worried about. Because that'll kill you. You don't want that.
No, not at all.
Not at all. No.
But I'm happy to hear that, you've got this plan to find a house with a really nice kitchen and then really just keep on experimenting, keep on learning and see what
Yeah.
you can develop, buy books, but gain knowledge from them.
Yeah.
And then like you've always mentioned, get experience through working on it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Don't
that's the
get it.
best
Yeah.
kind.
Don't. Yeah. Culinary school, because I'm not saying it's not good. If you want to do that fresh, and go do that, but it might make it stagnant. So.
Yeah, gotcha. Always keep on moving and always finding different recipes and different applications for such.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what are some future plans that you have for the catering stuff right now? What's on the horizon?
We want to get into more doing some more oil field caterings and stuff like that, like more like some grab and go stuff so people can come pick it up. I have some top secret stuff on the go that I can't mention, but keep an eye
Can you
on
give
the
us at
keep
least
an eye on the
one
website.
hint? Like what's it related to?
Well, maybe some mobile stuff. Maybe um,
Do you ever
yeah.
see yourself going back to brick and mortar after this?
If I did, it'd be my brick and mortar,
Okay.
and I would do it very specifically. Yeah, I got some ideas.
Interesting. Yeah.
Again, I want to keep some cards close to my chest. I'm very so like as Cassie reminds me, I'm very much a social butterfly, and sometimes I need to zip it.
Right.
Yeah, I
Not
know
play
that.
the cards. Not keep some
Yeah.
cards to yourself and
Yeah, yeah.
some to the table.
Need to keep them close to my chest for now. But
Yeah.
I got some good ideas. So
I mean, some people track their time through, that 5-year plan, 7-year plan.
no, I thrive in chaos. I don't do any of that.
Yeah.
I don't do any of that.
See what works. Well,
Yeah.
the kitchen teaches you well to deal with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm not saying I don't need to do that, but yeah, I'd probably be a lot better off if I did that. But I just like to roll with the punches.
See what works.
Yeah, 100%.
Interesting, man.
Yeah.
How do you define success after being employed through so many different places and being in different environments? Because the definition of success sometimes changes throughout time. That's what I've been finding
I
out
think just
interviewing
success
people.
is measured on happiness, right? I think you can always get money.
Mhm.
I think if you're smart enough and you put your mind to it, you can do anything. Most humans can do anything. But I think you should measure. I just measure success on, if I'm doing well and I can put food on my table and people are happy.
Customers are
People,
happy.
people are happy, yeah. The
Happy
people that I'm serving
customers.
the guests are happy, yeah.
Mhm.
And people are calling me and booking dinners. I'm happy. Yeah, and thank you everybody. Thank Grande Prairie community. They've really supported me, and I'm really grateful to be here. So, and have my business.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you say sets you apart from other cooks, from other chefs?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think we're kind of all the same a little bit. We're all a little bit crazy
Yeah.
to be doing this. It's a lot of hard work, and you don't make a lot of money. But you have to. I'm not saying you don't, but time served versus right. You're giving up a lot of your time.
Yeah, that opportunity cost charges you.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
make the money, but you're not going to get a lot of days off. You can be a little bit more poor and be happy and have that balanced work life, but you're going to be struggling. So you can't say you can't say no.
So I would say
You have to
that
figure out how to say yes.
I would say that in your case you'd be balanced, maybe.
What's that? You have to be balanced. Yeah, you have to be
Yeah.
really organized.
Yeah, in your case, like finding that balance that really works for you. Be individual about that method.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Casey, thank you so much for being here
You're very
on
welcome.
the show.
Thank you.
We have one final question for you that we like to ask
Okay.
all of the guests, and that is, if you had one word to describe yourself, which one would it be?
Aggressive. I just said that because it's the first word that popped in my head because that's what everybody says. I'm too aggressive. So I don't think I am. Social butterfly, maybe? I don't know.
Mhm. Well, passion and aggression can sometimes go hand in
Let's go with
hand.
passionate. Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go with passionate. Yeah, I like that. That sounds better.
But yeah, thank you for being here on the show. It was great talking to you.
Thank
Great
you.
hearing your
Yeah, this was
stories.
awesome.
And no, I mean, it went by quickly.
I had a great time.
Honestly,
This
yeah,
is good.
yeah. I feel
Yeah.
like I could go on forever and on and on and on and
I
on.
thought I
So-
was going to be nervous. I don't.
No, not at all, man. I mean, once you get the flow going and once you get talking and really exploring and different interests
Yeah.
and talking about it, it's just a ride. And
Yeah.
thank you for being here. It's
You're very
always a
welcome.
pleasure.
Oh, it was awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you. And thank you guys.
Thank you guys for watching another episode of Authentically Albertan. We'll catch you in the next one. Stay authentic. Well, and that wraps up another episode of StoryHive On Location Calgary. If you've got a story and want to be featured, don't forget to scan the QR code and apply to be a guest on our show. Stay tuned. See you next time.